right, they say if it bleeds, it leads, but what else is happening in the world? Let's figure it out together with your ADD News. First look of the day here on KROQ.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News. All hail the Onion Queen.
All hell.
Thank you. All right, we have our next viral commencement speech, and it comes from one Harrison Butker, the kicker of the Chiefs. And he spoke at Benedictine College, which I will say is a religious school, so they expected his speech to be religious. But Butker made a lot of things very clear. He is super, super Catholic. He hates abortion. He called the gays sinners and told women that they'd all be happier in the kitchen. So let's start with some of the comments that he made about the gays, and then the women will go last, as they should.
Places and people like those here at Benedictine wouldn't be met with anger, but instead met with excitement and pride. Not the deadly sin sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it, but the true God-centered pride that is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify Him.
I love that was like a joke that killed in the Catholic room.
I don't know if I'd say that killed. I mean,
they were laughing. I was like, damn.
Sounded like it got more of like a, whoa, this guy's...
There was a lot of whoa moments.
Especially because the Chiefs, because of their, quote, relationship now with the Taylor Swift and the Swifties.
Yeah, but they're still in Kansas City.
I get it, but I'm just saying, there will be blowback from this. And it's
not the gay kind.
And not the good kind of blowback that comes once a month, if you know what I'm saying. Huh? So I don't know.
Why does it only come once a month?
I don't know. I assume that's how pride works. Am I wrong? But it seems crazy. It seems like...
I was just shocked that he was saying all that. I was like, wow, during a commencement speech? Like, it's just kind of interesting that that's where you decide to kind of get on your soapbox. Here's what he said about the ladies.
For the ladies present today, I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? But I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on the stage today.
Yep.
Hold on.
This is crazy. It's 2024,
crazy.
right?
Yes.
I agree with that.
What is happening?
He goes on.
I agree
able to
with
be
this
the man
part.
I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation.
So I'm the man I am because my wife leans into her job,
To be
vocation,
the wife.
of being a wife and a mother. And then he also goes on to say that that some of these women are like being told that they need to focus on their careers and all this stuff, when really when it comes down to it, what they truly want is to be a homemaker, to have their job be a homemaker, and that he's so thankful that his wife
brother. Amen.
converted to the faith and basically gave up on her dreams and just dedicated her life. Yeah.
Wow.
Jesus
That
Christ.
is there will
And he was
be-
like crying during it, like, and she gave up everything to
He's crying
put me-
during it.
Damn.
I
Yeah.
think I need a month. Jeez. That's...
Well, and I was like, why are people walking out of Jerry Seinfeld's speech and not this guy's? Like, why is that not the headline? And also, if you have a name like Butker, how can you be anti-gay?
Maybe that's why, though. All the
He,
jokes
like,
he took
butt
his whole
kiss,
life.
butt plug.
So that's the kicker for the Chiefs, gave a pretty controversial graduation speech. I know, Jake, you're doing the speech later today. Is yours going to be as exciting and controversial as
It's
that
going to be more controversial.
I love it. I can't wait. I can't wait.
All right,
Sandwiches for everybody.
I'll make them.
Beautiful.
Recycling was a very new concept in the 70s, and 50 years later, we're just starting to get a hang of it. Now, there's a newer concept called upcycling. I'm sure you've heard of by now. It's getting more and more popular. It's the idea of taking garbage and turning it into something new, like making shoes out of old food scraps. But there's one thing that's becoming a huge trend that's getting very controversial, and it's called upcycling clothing, where they take old clothes from high-end designers that people want to throw away, and then they turn them into new clothing, and they put it on the rack again at full price. And these designers are getting pissed because they're like, hey, I made that Chanel bag, and if you're going to strip it apart and make a vest out of it, I should get a cut of that. You know, kind of like an artist covering a song of another artist.
Right.
You're doing it differently. It sounds different, but it's made from the same foundation. So should they get the money?
There's a lot of people that do that on Etsy, right? Like you can find a bunch of stuff. Like you want a phone case that's got some sort of a Louis Vuitton print or whatever. There's people that do that. Well, what's the matter? Someone paid for it at some point.
And it's going to get thrown away is the point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if someone's going to throw away a Louis Vuitton bag and somebody wants to make something new out of it, Louis Vuitton can't be like, hey, we deserve that money. Like it was going to go in the trash. There was going to be no money made.
Well, of all the things we just learned in the ADD news, I think the thing we can remember all day is that women really just want to make babies and stay in the kitchen. Right, Allie?
When I really get through all my stupid hopes and dreams, when it comes down to it, I just want to get pregnant by a guy.
I know that women love nothing more than having a man tell them what their hopes and dreams are. That is...
At their graduation.
Unbelievable.
Klein, Alley Show. The world-famous KROQ. KROQ.
Hey, this is Hosier, and you are listening to the Klein Alley Show. Mornings on KROQ. I'm not, but you are.
Hey, Hosier, what?
Yeah, it was crazy because I went and saw you at the Troubadour last week. And fantastic show, obviously. Any show at the Troubadour is going to be amazing.
This is the one I can't
are always
take.
out of this
This
world.
is the longest
One
question
thing I did
ever.
notice
So bad.
was that I was sitting next to a girl who looked like she was probably 20 years old, and then to my left was a couple that looked like they were in their 70s. And everybody was like equally jamming out, you know, and it does kind of your music really does hit a lot of different people. And maybe, I mean, I don't know why you think that is, but it's kind of
But
some
I'll
of your
answer
music
for
can
you.
kind of have that bluesy classic feel, and some of it, the other music is very experimental, right? And seems very modern.
So good.
He laughed in the middle there. He was into it.
He was halfway back to his home country before that question was even
He was
done.
into quit music. He was just like, oh, what am I doing with my life?
That was crazy.
Now the next song is about whiskey and
That was
going
one
to bed early.
that was one of the rare long questions where you asked multiple questions, but also answered multiple
Yes.
questions in the asking, and then moved on to other
Exactly.
questions. It was almost like you interviewed yourself.
It was the worst of all of them because it was telling a story. Then it went to a question followed by here are some possible answers that you could give to my
Yeah, you
question.
gave him a multiple choice. It was crazy. And then you kind of went with the all of the above.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, we got the new longest question that was asked in Vegas, which we have not even played yet on the show, which we'll do at some point later this
I
morning.
don't think that my question in the podcast, by the way, my thing in the podcast was I thought we were all just talking. I didn't think we were doing an interview.
Well, we weren't.
Right, so it's not even a interview question.
People will decide. We'll get to that later this morning. Right
By
now,
the
though,
way, I think we have to throw in Nicole Alvarez into the longest question mix because I saw an interview with her and Kings of Leon, and the first question I think out of the bat is about 30 seconds.
30 seconds, nothing.
Yeah, I
Allie
think we
does
gotta
that.
pull that.
Allie does that in her head.
Again, Klein has a 50-second question that we have not played.
We'll get to that too. But right now, your news.
50.
Grab your Adderall. No, seriously, grab it. The shortage is real. It's time for ADD News. By the way, if you need any, I know a guy.
510 said I drove 14 miles in the span of that question.
It's a sad day for nostalgia. This morning, we are getting the news that Chuck E. Cheese is ditching animatronics for good. They're pulling the plug on the band, and Red Lobster is now closing 50 locations and has begun their liquidation sales. 2 of those locations for their liquidation sales are local, and you can bid on them right now.
Oh, I've already been looking.
So this one that's closest to us is in Torrance, and you can bid on the entire contents of the store, which includes high-performance ovens, upright refrigerators and freezers, cooking and warming solutions, comprehensive bar and dining setups, just to name a few
Yeah,
things.
you basically get to walk into the Red Lobster and you own
take whatever you want.
everything. This is not one of those things where you got to bid on things piecemeal. I know when they were shutting down Twitter, there was that thing where you could buy a chair, buy a desk, or buy a clock. This is you get everything
contents.
inside of the Red Lobster. I would imagine you get plenty of Cheddar Bay biscuits too. Probably.
No, you don't.
Oh, you don't?
It's interesting because this is the current bid is for $3,500 for
That's
this.
it?
Yes.
For all that stuff?
But listen to the auction terms because I didn't realize how many rules there were. So all items have to be picked up by Friday. So if you can't just leave it all in there. You have to be able to haul everything out within 2 days.
Yeah, it's expensive.
They reserve the right to cancel everything at any given time up to the time of pickup.
Oh, really?
Yep. And then they said the pictures it may show some items that are not included in your auction. So if they show a picture of like a cool refrigerator or stove, it might not even be there. Perishable goods and alcohol are not included.
Oh, damn.
And they said if there's any any deviation, blah, blah, blah. They said if you don't pick everything up by Friday, everything is forfeited without a refund. So you just pay the money and get nothing.
Then you got to find, a couple of good friends that'll help you lift some heavy fridges.
This is a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff you got to do. People that know what they're doing could do it, but I would love to go in there. I would just like to take over that Red Lobster for a day.
But that's what I mean is you can't do that.
I know.
I thought you'd be able to pay $3,500 and then just hole up in the Red Lobster.
$3,500 for all that stuff? It's got to be...
I know, but with all this, with all these other rules,
right.
I don't want to deal with that.
I get it.
And do you have an immediate plan of what you're going to do with all that stuff?
No, I would
imagine.
I have zero
I would imagine
plan.
you don't have a plan.
I just think it'd be fun to own a bunch of stuff that was in a Red Lobster. I just want the sign, to be honest.
I don't even know if you
an
get
offer,
that.
Klein.
I will put in. I put in an offer in a different location. The Torrance one got a little expensive.
The San Diego one isn't as bad.
There was one in Rona Park, I want to say. I saw another one. Yeah, it was only $1,200. I'm actually in on that one right now.
What are you going to do?
I don't know.
You're going to forfeit $1,200.
I hope I don't win.
You
Now,
really
please,
are going to
someone
forfeit.
outbid me, please. I don't want this one anymore.
All right, The Voice is currently in its 25th season. It seems insane to think about. It's had a longer run than American Idol. It's one of the longest running competition shows of all time. I never really watched it, but it's always, I guess, kind of interesting to see which new singers are going to be coaches. Gwen Stefani has announced that she's going to be back on the show. She's returning. And the two new coaches being added are Michael Bublé and Snoop. Which Snoop, I think, always makes everything better. But I do feel like when an artist gets that reality show stank on them, it's kind of hard to wash it off, even for him.
Such easy money, though. You get to sit in one of those cool chairs
and
that
who
spins
loves
around.
easy money more than Snoop?
No one. That guy will do a lot of stuff.
And some of those coaches is like once they're on it, they're really, really invested in the people that are on the show and they want to spend time with them. And other ones are like, cool, best of luck to you.
Yeah, I get it.
You're one of my people, all right? My people will call your people and do a good job. So I think that I would rather see Snoop just stick to the... he was doing a good thing with all the WrestleMania announcing. I wish that he had really gone in that... down that path.
Well, they tried a singing competition show where Snoop was the judge. It was like Snoop and Kelly Clarkson, and they were like, "This can't fail." And
I think they also love pairing Snoop with unlikely people.
Yeah, they do.
Let's do Snoop and Bublé.
But it that one didn't work, and that was one where every state was competing against each other. They were trying to do like a Eurovision, but state to state, and that was kind of a flop. But all right, add them to The Voice, whatever. I'll do any show that involves a comfortable chair. I think that would be my only requirement. And
they
that
just
show
get bigger and taller and more comfy.
That show checks the box.
All right, the Olympics are getting close when they start installing the anti-sex beds, and they're here. The anti-sex beds have arrived in Paris ahead of the 2024 Olympics, and we could probably expect them here in Los Angeles when the Olympics come here. It is the flimsy beds made of highly destructible materials and with a tiny size, allegedly hoping to deter athletes from any orgies that might happen, like the ones that happened in the last Olympics.
Yeah, my wife just got these put in our bedroom at home. She's a big fan of these anti-sex beds.
I thought if they were going to make them anti-sex beds, they should just make them super noisy.
Well,
but I guess they don't care about
they're
that.
They're made of like cardboard that if you even gyrate 3 times, the whole bed collapses because they want to stop all these athletes from other countries from banging each other. I guess that's an issue.
Do they really think this is going to work? This is not going to work. These are like the creme de la creme. These athletes are lifting each other up, doing all kinds of weird bends and stuff. They don't need beds.
There's a lot of creme.
Yeah, that is right. These are the creme-free beds they're making.
Klein Alley Show.
Hey, I love you guys, and I listen to you guys every morning, and I better shut up because it's a drunk message. Bye.
Happy birthday, dear Valen. That's a big game, man.
Greta Thunberg.
106.7 KROQ FM in HD Pasadena, Los Angeles, Orange County. This is the world famous KROQ.
Oh, hell yeah. Welcome to KROQ. Welcome to just after 8 o'clock on a Wednesday morning, middle of the week. You've made it this far, so here we go. Things are about to get good in your future. Less than an hour away. Get you some Disneyland tickets. You can join in on Pixar Fest, Festival of Friendship. Pixar Fest will get you in at 9 a.m. 4 tickets, 1 day, 1 park passes will be yours. Between now and then, though, what do we have for you? Well, we'll talk about your stalking habits because there's been a lot of talk lately about what is acceptable stalking and what is stalking gone too far. And I would argue at some point you could make I think we could all agree that stalking in any capacity is not okay.
Yeah, but you always hear those speeches at the wedding that are like, and I followed her home. I showed up at her work every single day with flowers, and he just wouldn't. He was relentless. And now here we are, happier than ever. So sometimes stalking really does pay off.
So we will hear your stories because we put this question up on the Instagram at Klein Alley Show. And it turns out that many, many, many people have done, I would argue, past the level of what would be considered light stalking. And they've gone into intermediate to extreme stalking. And these are people that consider themselves to be sane, normal, everyday people. But because of a situation with an ex or a boyfriend or a new relationship, next thing they knew, they were opening up a credit card in the name of their former lover to try to get information. I mean, just wild stories we heard on the Instagram. I can only imagine what we'll get on the radio.
I mean, case in point, Vanessa. She had a situation where
she doesn't
liked
want you
a
talking.
guy.
She doesn't want you talking about that.
I don't stalk anyone, but I know everyone does a little light stalking. A light.
But Vanessa, you followed a chef.
Oh my God, that's creepy.
That is not true. I didn't follow
Just the way
the
she
chef.
said it.
Yeah, you followed a chef from.
I said that I wanted to go to a place where I knew the chef was going to be at, but I chickened out and I didn't do it, so I didn't stalk.
But you tested it out on us beforehand, and you were like, if I go and I eat the food, it's just because I really liked the food that was being served there.
Which
and we're
is
like, Vanessa,
true.
no.
But Vanessa, you were at a restaurant. You saw the chef. It was one of those open kitchens. You said, "I like this guy. I'm going to follow him." Correct?
No, I did not do that.
That's not how I heard it. All right. So Vanessa's clearly a stalker. That one we figured out.
Clearly not.
But if you turn on your, girlfriend or boyfriend's, Find My iPhone so you can follow them during the day, does that make you a stalker? Or does that make you just
No, I don't think that makes you a stalker at
Where's
all.
the line?
Klein Alley Show. Mornings on KROQ.
106.7 KROQ.
KROQ Klein Alley Show. Disneyland, 4 tickets coming up in about 5 minutes right here. Be ready to call and win. All you got to do is be caller 20 after 9 o'clock at 800-520-1067, and Disneyland will be in your future. Right now, though, we got stuff happening in the world that you should probably learn about. It's time for the final look at your ADD news of the morning. Here you go.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News, and now the Cankle Queen.
All right, let's talk about the real Baby Reindeer for a minute and the updates in the real-life drama that has come from it. Martha Scott is the name of the stalker in the show, and we know now that her real name is Fiona Harvey because she stepped forward and said, all right, I think that show was about me. I'm going to do an interview with Piers Morgan and set the record straight. In the interview, she said things like this.
I don't fancy little boys without jobs.
And it was a very long interview, and it seems that there were a lot of lies told during that interview. I don't think it got anybody on her side.
You know what's weird about that woman is that her real name sounds like more of a made-up name than her stalker name.
Fiona Harvey.
Fiona Harvey sounds like a hot... If you're trying to make up the name of a hot alias, Fiona Harvey.
Yeah, Martha isn't really like...
Yeah, Martha seems like that name you were given because it was your grandma's name. You're like, oh, god damn, I'm stuck with Martha.
And you're being stalked by a Martha. You're like, ugh.
Yeah, but if you're like, all of a sudden you're getting emails...
From
40,000 emails from a Fiona? That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So now she is seeking $1.25 million from Piers Morgan for the interview. She's not happy about the amount that she was paid. She said that she got offered $315. And then when she asked if that was what they paid everyone, she said she wanted to see documentation to that effect. And she said, the documentation has not been forthcoming. I have not signed a contract for the interview, and I will be seeking far more than a piddling $315. And she said she'd settle for $1 million.
That's nice of her. I mean, whatever.
And she's a lawyer, mind you, so she knows about all this stuff.
Fake lawyer.
Yeah. So ChatGPT has changed the world. It's helped people write cover letters and love letters and everything in between. And now they have announced a new ChatGPT that is coming out on Monday. This is ChatGPT 2.0, and it is turned into a chatbot that can now receive and respond to voice commands, images, and videos. So it's basically become a voice assistant version of ChatGPT, and they said that it's going to be a total game changer. I don't know what people are going to be able to do with it. They're going to have to find out when it comes out on Monday and everybody leaves their desk jobs to spend all day on ChatGPT.
I think Google also just dropped their new AI assistant. It's going to be like right there on the search bar. So when you start looking for things, you're also going to have the AI help that can, take it to the next level.
I think
so in this week is going to be we always talk about man versus machine, but this week is a big week for machine. Machine is taking over because between that and the Google thing, it's going to be AI. If it's not already a part of your life in a major way, I think in the next 2 weeks, It's going to be.
But I bet, like, if this came out and we sent a picture of us and uploaded it onto ChatGPT and said, ChatGPT, make us hotter, it should be able to take that image and do that.
Well,
Just break ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's the only way to beat the robots. Pull that clip.
Oh, damn it.
Allie's making more noises. That's good stuff right there.
Okay. Crime is up in general in LA, but specifically vehicle theft is skyrocketing in several areas. And the biggest area is generally in the San Fernando Valley. So everyone's now going to the valley to do their car stealing. And the 3 areas where it is most impacted are in Van Nuys, North Hollywood, and Pacoima. Van Nuys, it's bad anyway, so there's been an increase, but it's not like crazy compared to what they normally see. But in North Hollywood, if you look at this graph, it just like doubles. Like it's crazy how it spiked. And I guess people just want to be like just like people do, they continue to spread out as rent and everything gets crazier and crazier. Families go outside, and so do thieves.
You know, I've seen quite a few break-ins as of late, and the part that is the most annoying is the shattering of the glass, because then you got to actually deal with that. That's always the worst part, and it would just be so much better. Because I don't mind. I've had my car broken into no less than probably 5 times in the last few years.
I would say probably the same.
And when they use that device, that because you're supposed to take your key and put it in like an Altoid tin or put it in some sort of a special something that blocks the signals, because anyone who drives by now can use a device that will basically use your own car remote, your key, to unlock your car.
Man, Altoid tins are used for everything but Altoids.
That's right. Drugs, pills, and keeping your keys safe.
Oh, what a great place to keep my Xanax.
Unsung hero.
Box.
But at least when they do that move, even though I feel violated, I go, at least I don't have to clean up shards of broken glass.
Oh, yeah, and then the worst is when they just do, like, down the road, they'll just break the glass and just walk away and not even steal anything.
Right. At least, like, take the look for it. Sometimes they break first, then look second. At least look first. And if you see something in there, like, oh, laptop case, I'm going to go ahead and break. But I do not like the breaking and hoping. That just seems like it's very disrespectful.
That's why I keep so much trash in my car. I think that's a deterrent.
You purposely keep trash in your car to deter thieves?
Hell yeah.
I think your whole car is a deterrent.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I mean, that car, Jake, you could put, I wonder how many nice things we could actually put inside Jake's car and they still wouldn't break into it.
Yeah, because they're like, this is probably some bait thing.
Right.
But it's hide underneath trash.
Smart. That man is about to give a graduation speech to inspire the youth and all the dropouts. That'll be coming up next hour. Hey, thanks for checking out some of our radio show on KROQ. Just between you and me, we're about to fire Allie, so hopefully you didn't get used to her too much. But thanks for checking it out, and we appreciate you checking out the live radio show. And
Hey, what do you guys do?
nothing.
But you're filming something. Aren't they supposed to be involved in this?
We're not filming anything.
There's a camera right there.
Just part of the... Bye.